I'm looking for a mind at work. Work. Are you in your body? I want to pass on some information to you that has helped me enormously throughout my life. And it is the notion of being in your body and the connection between your body and your mind, your body and your creativity, your body and your spiritual understanding, your body and your heart, your body and your psyche. I came from a really intellectual family in a really intellectual corner of the country. And I grew up really focusing on wit and intellect, on art and literature. They tried to focus me on math and science, but that didn't work so well. But I was really sharpened as an intellectual. But it left me emotionally kind of up in my head. And when I got out into the world, what happens to all of us when we get into our 20s and we leave our home and we leave our schooling and we get out into the world and we start working at jobs and relating to the broader world is we run up against ourselves in the form of running up against the real world. The real world has good, bad, and everything in between. It has pitfalls and glories. And how we find them, how we react to them, how we enjoy them or don't enjoy them, how we perceive them, all relates to who we are when we have come out of the womb of youth and started to interact with the real world. And this means that a lot of our unprocessed childhood stuff, for some of us, trauma, and for others, not necessarily trauma, but family systems, family dynamics, emotional dynamics, all of the stuff that we haven't yet had time on Earth to process and look at and deal with, we start to run up against how it manifests when things that are very worldly happen, like you have trouble providing for yourself and getting a job, or you're in tough times, or you have relationships that are not like the relationships you grew up with and you were used to, because this person's from a different family and they're completely different, and so you get triggered in ways that you didn't anticipate, and things pop out of you that you didn't know were how you would react, but here you are acting like a way that you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like who I'm being right now. All of these things happen, and you have to figure them out. And that's the journey of life. That's what life, coming to this mud ball of earth is for. So we can figure ourselves out by bumping up against reality. And one of the things that helps enormously to do that is to be in your body. Now, when I hit that stage of my life, I was way up in here. And this was my primary tool. And I thought that with my intellect, I could solve anything, because I thought that life was based on intellect and the world was just how to figure things out with your intellect. And if I could use my intellect to figure stuff out, I could make it work. What I didn't account for is that the psyche is only partly the intellect, that the psyche involves the heart and the intuition. And those things relate less to the intellect, although they do use it, they relate deeply to your heart and to your body. We store things in our muscles. Go to a massage therapist, they'll tell you the same thing. When you're getting a massage sometimes and it hurts, the advice they give is when they are working with that muscle that's very tight and that hurts to press, they say, see if you can focus your awareness on it. Listen to it. Because sometimes, and this has been true for me, sometimes when you focus on it, like, ow, ow, that hurts, what does the pain feel like? Gosh, you don't, I'm fucking angry. It's just the pain has this flavor that pops out if you're focusing on it. Sometimes it's like, oh, God, that's so sad. I feel so sad. Oh, I'm sad. Your muscles are storing this emotional energy. Unprocessed emotions. Actors will tell you, if you've got unprocessed stuff in your psyche and you haven't opened out all of these emotions and you haven't allowed yourself to feel some of the most intense and difficult emotions that you've experienced by going through trauma and life, it's harder to be true on stage. It's harder to access your creativity. I had a visceral experience of this when I came out to my father. I wrote him a letter and explained myself, and I came out. And bless his heart, he and my stepmother, they sent a telegram, said, got your letter, we love you, stop. Got your letter, stop, we love you, stop. It's kind of funny. It was so positive and so loving that I felt inside. I wept, and I knelt down on the floor of my apartment and I wept. It felt like the same feeling I had when the Berlin Wall went down. Just release and relief. But the thing I didn't know would happen over the next few months was I noticed that I was freer, looser, and more intuitively creative in other areas of my life, particularly in my art, than I had been before. And I learned that because I had unlocked this big place where I'd been holding back and afraid, because it was now released and open and free, other parts that seemed unrelated were also freer. I had more energy, and my creativity flowed more easily, and my intuition my intuition related with my creativity in ways that made my creativity better organized and more resonant. And all of that from release. So we lock things in our muscles, we lock things in our body, and when we release them, we release our intuition and creativity. So how can you do that? I was a commercial TV actor. I used to go on auditions and be in TV commercials. And TV commercials and the auditions for them are like miniature golf. The people who write these commercials have like 30 seconds to a minute to get across, to tell a story and get across, the product. And the product, in the way advertising works, is the product has to tap into something in the public consciousness. So a lot of TV commercials play on archetypes, social archetypes. And for an actor, that means we're looking for this type or that type. We're looking for the mom type. We're looking for the boy next door type. In my case, we're looking for the kooky best friend, or the bizarre artist, or the nutty professor, right? Sort of wackadoodle roles was my forte. And I looked at it like miniature golf, where you have to get the ball through the mouth of the hippopotamus, around the corner, and drop in the hole in 3 strokes only. So it meant that walking into the audition, you got your sides, the script, and you had to read it and hit the archetype, discern what they were looking for, the type they were looking for, the archetype they were looking for, and then be that with exactly that, and with a little inventiveness, a little extra creativeness, a little extra sauce on top. I had been trained in my schooling as a performer to warm up before every performance. Now with these commercial auditions, I tried to always do that, but I couldn't always. Sometimes you got a last-minute notice to go to an audition. And over the years that I did this, I noticed that the auditions where I did not move my body, where I did not do some yoga stretches, some theater exercise body stretches, and warm up my voice, I couldn't quite get the golf ball in the hole through the mouth of the hippo. I couldn't quite hit the archetype. I knew what they were looking for. I knew what it was. I knew the character to play. I knew I could do it, but I couldn't land on it. I couldn't get it out of my mouth right. And the days when I was warmed up, I could get it. And I could book jobs with it. For me as a performer, making my body relaxed and have the flow of energy going from having loosened it up with movement meant that I had my resources available and my ducks in a row for using my skills. And I could intuitively sense, what do they want me to play? Okay, where do I go in me? Where do I go? How do I summon that up from my imagination? I could do it because I had moved my body. When we sat down to write our press statements with the sisters, when we had that kerfuffle with the Dodgers, I knew it. And when we had to go on camera for the news cameras, I knew I had to get it right. The words had to be right. The tone had to be right. I had to come from sincerity and from gravitas, from confidence. I warmed up. I felt it was effective. People reflected to me it was effective. So, are you in your body as a creative person? It behooves you to move your body. Whether you do yoga stretches, you go for a walk, you do calisthenics, whatever it is for you. Roll your shoulders, even if you're just sitting at a desk. Try it and see the effect it has on your creativity. If you're not doing something creative, if you're doing spreadsheets, you're doing Excel spreadsheets for your office job, try taking a break and doing some physical warm-ups first. I say it's going to help you figure out your formulas. The mind-body relationship works better when you move your body, when you work the body part of it. When I started therapy, people would say to me, "You're not walking on the ground. You're just sort of floating right above it." And I didn't really understand at the time what they meant. The more I did therapy, get in touch with anger and sadness and loneliness in my therapy, things that I'd been feeling all my life but hadn't let myself know I was feeling, I could feel them coming out from here, out from my body. It got to the point where I would take long walks before I had a therapy session, or I'd stretch before a therapy session. And when I did that, I could drop down into what my feelings were and talk about them with my therapist more easily. It's not always fun and easy to know what you're storing in your body if you've been through sadness and you've been through terrible things or traumatic things. So you have to make sure that you are facing those things or talking about those things or looking at those things in a context, in a time and place when you're safe. Maybe there's someone professional who knows how to handle them, or you're in a place that's safe for you to look at them. But if you want to look at these things and you want to process and you want to move forward, moving your body, using your body as part of the equation will help you enormously. Trauma is held in the body, and the body can be used and relaxed to release trauma. There are a myriad of ways to explore this, and you should find the path that works for you. Always listen to yourself when you're trying the thing, and ask yourself, I'm feeling resistant to doing this. Is it because I'm afraid to look at what I have to look at? Or because, oh, this isn't the right way to go about this. This isn't the right context. This isn't the right exercise for me. This is pushing me somewhere that is not organic to me. And the first one, it's resistance because it's something that's difficult. And that you can push through or take on bit by bit and get there. And the other one is you have to trust yourself to know, no, this isn't the right thing for me. So pick your way of getting into your body by listening to yourself and trying things out. Just try a little and see how it works for you. So whether it's just making a painting or a drawing or writing your friend a letter, or it's going on the personal, spiritual, or psychological journey of knowing what you're feeling and who you are inside, the unlooked at places, get in there. Get in that body of yours. Be in your body and use some way of movement, stretch, some way of working physically with your body to awaken those energies and those stored places and to tune your body with your mind and your heart. Let me know what your experience is trying this out. Also, remember that I, as a nun, am dedicated to the body BAWDY. It's a different video.